What's up guys, today I've got my hands on the RockTek RTX 5000 GameStream Pro. Roll the intro. So this looks like a very interesting streaming box with lots of official licensing. You can see it says 4K HDR, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, DTS HD, Dolby ATMOS, AV1 codec, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth version 5, and you can see the Android TV logo on it as well. So officially Google licensed Android TV. And check out the packaging, it says next gen gaming on your TV. So this is the package where you get the TV box and the game controller in one. If you don't want the game controller, you can pick up the TV box on its own as well. Now here are the contents of both boxes. If we start with the streaming box, you get a user manual, you get an HDMI cable, you get a power supply, and I'll show you guys a close-up of the voltage information. This comes with a hybrid infrared and Bluetooth remote control. Now this is a full-featured remote control, quite slim in the hands. You've got shortcuts there for YouTube, Netflix, Prime and Disney. There is a Google Assistant button in the middle, so there is a built-in mic so you can run your voice searches. And this remote control is powered by two AAA batteries. And last but not least, you get the TV box itself. Wow, really nice finish. I'm coming back to this, just hold on a second. Now inside the game controller box, you've got a user manual for the game controller. You've got a charging cable for the controller, USB-A to Type-C, and the controller itself. Now immediately I can tell you this feels like a controller that comes with a game console. It's a Bluetooth controller, so you can use the controller like a remote. So you can navigate the menus, etc. with this controller, and you have the Google Assistant button as well for your voice searches. On top, you've got Type-C port, XYBA layout, dual analog joysticks, and you've got your trigger and shoulder buttons. There is a built-in rechargeable battery, and this does support dual vibration motors. So here it is guys, this is the brains behind the whole thing. The RockTek G2 RTX 5000, this is the streaming box. You've got a rather nice leather blue finish on top, which looks and feels really good. And you've got the RockTek logo with a really nice chrome finish. On the front, you've just got a power indicator. On the side, there is a microSD card expansion, USB 2, USB 3. On the back, power socket. We have a gigabit LAN, HDMI 2.1, AV port, optical out, and we have a Type-C port. If we keep going, and on this side we have nothing, and that brings us back to the front. And here is a quick look at the bottom of the box. And there is a hole at the bottom and it says there recovery. So this box is powered by the S905X4-K. It's a quad-core clocked at 2 GHz along with the integrated Mali G31 graphics. We've got 4 gigs of LPDDR4 RAM with 64 gigs of eMMC storage. MicroSD cards up to 128 gigs are supported. You've got Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth version 5, and we have a gigabit Ethernet port. This is running official Android tvOS version 11 with HDMI 2.1, supports 4K 60 with HDR10+. You also have support for Dolby Vision, Dolby ATMOS, and DTS HD. Now first of all, I ran a boot up speed test, and you can see on screen exactly how long it took to load up from a cold start. And this is of course Android tvOS version 12 with everything conveniently placed on one page for a user-friendly experience. The layout and shortcuts can be customized to your own personal preference, and you also have subheadings on the top for navigation. So we have search, home, shop, discover and apps. Now if we head over to the main system settings, go to device preferences and check out the system storage info. This box has 64 gigs of internal storage, from which 57 gigs are free to use. Now if we have a quick look in about, you will see that this box is indeed running Android tvOS version 12, and you can see all the relevant version, kernel, build numbers, etc. Now this is apparently official ATV, which means we should have a working Chromecast built in. So I'm going to grab my phone, open up YouTube, I'm going to select the Chromecast, and I'm just going to try casting one of my videos. What's up guys, today we're doing a review on a new controller by GameStream, and I'm happy to report back that Chromecast is working really well. Now a quick look at the system apps. Here are all the favorite apps which got downloaded for me automatically whilst I was setting up the box. So all the apps I use the most, including Netflix, YouTube, we have YouTube Music, Ada64, Disney Plus, Apple TV, and of course the Google Play Store. Now just to confirm, this is the Android TV version of the Play Store, so apps which are designed to work with Android TV OS. It's the limited version of the Play Store, but you can still install APKs, sideload APKs as usual. Now, Android TV OS doesn't really come with any native screen mirroring apps, but you can download AirScreen for free from the Play Store, and that will let you mirror your iOS devices. And I've tested that and that works absolutely fine, but there is no native Android screen mirroring options. However, you do have Chromecast, which you can use with either Android or iOS, and that does work fine. So now I'm going to play some 4K video samples from a USB drive, and I'll be doing this with the VLC player, which I just downloaded from the Play Store. So let's begin with the usual high bitrate Jellyfish demo. And the first one is 160 megabits per second high bitrate 4K Jellyfish video, and you can see the sample is playing back nice and smooth with no issues. So thereafter I tested the second file, which is 180 megabits per second, and that appears to be playing back the same, nice and smooth. So great video playback so far, but the real test is the next sample, 400 megabits per second high bitrate 4K Jellyfish demo. You can see it buffered a little bit in the start, buffering again, freezing almost. So yeah, I'd call that a fail. You're not going to be able to play high bitrate 400 megabits per second samples, but up to 180 megabits per second is possible. So thereafter I tested some 4K 60 samples with various HDR formats, and they all appeared to play back nice and smooth, again with no issues. So moving on to 4K streaming on YouTube, and just to confirm, the maximum streaming on YouTube is 4K 60 with HDR.
But the Queen changed everything.
Take him away!
Your Majesty.
What? But Liam
To Santa
is a crappy speller. Sonic, you finally found your family.
Try to keep up.
I know it hasn't always been easy.
So that brings us to the Netflix test, and I can confirm Netflix does support 4K with HDR. So next up I tested Amazon Prime Video, and 4K HDR is also supported. And I also tested out Disney Plus, and you can see HD streaming is supported with 5.1 sound. Alright, so moving on to the gaming test, and I have connected the RockTek wireless game controller via Bluetooth. Controller connects fine, and I am now controlling this entire box with that game controller. So let's go ahead and play a few basic games and see how well it plays. Now for you advanced users, DRM info shows Google Widevine level 1. And here is CPU Z, where you can check out the clock speeds, and you can see this is indeed running the Mali G31. And here are the results for the internal disk speeds. We achieved read speeds of 156 and write speeds of 126 megabytes per second. So that brings us to our benchmarks, beginning with Geekbench, single core score of 143 and multi-core score of 443. And in the Antutu benchmark test, we achieve 100K. So let's see how that compares with the others. So here is my top Android TV box chart for 2024, showing you the latest TV boxes and seeing how they compare with each other. And the ranking is based on Antutu benchmark scores. So higher the performance equals higher the rank. But I do still have a score out of 5, letting you know exactly what I think of the box, regardless of the benchmarking. So as you guys can see, this TV box has achieved position 22 on this chart with a benchmark score of 100, and I have rated it a 4.8 out of 5. Now you can view the full versions of all my charts online at chixtech.com and read them at your leisure and completely free of charge. So there you have it, guys. That was the RockTek G2 RTX 5000, and here are my thoughts. My pros and cons pretty much sums it all up. The only thing letting this box down is the lack of newer chipset. There are many more powerful processors available right now than the S905X4, so limited to the Mali G31 graphics. For this price point, they should have really used something like the S928X or RockChip 3599 or even the Tegra X1 Plus from the 2019 nvidia Shield, which is still way more powerful than this box and 90% of all the streaming boxes that have launched this year. It's nice to have official Google TV and official 4K streaming licensing across the board, and general operation has been pretty good, nothing lagged. It's a pretty enjoyable experience. Audio is also top notch, supporting Dolby ATMOS. You also got Dolby Vision. If you can get past the price issue, then this is a pretty cool streaming box. Now, I will leave the links in the description box in case you want to check this out for yourselves. And if you want to see more of my latest and greatest unbiased tech reviews, hit the like button, sub to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.